welcome back to another edition of Talk Dat Talk Podcast. I go by the name of Bacon. I got my co-host with me.
Man, it's your boy Sunny Reasons.
Sunny Reasons.
Sunny Reasons, you feel me? You know.
But you're not outside, though.
Yeah, but it's hot in Phoenix. And that's what the Suns is doing. They keeping it hot out there on these Bucks. Okay? Keeping it real hot. So I decided to wear my shades. Mind you, people, these are prescription sunglasses. You feel me? And these work wonders, man. I'm mad at myself for not getting these a long time ago, especially in this coaching profession, bro.
Yeah.
These, like I'm telling you, I've been coaching with these on, and I feel invincible. Like they can't see me, but I can see them. It's crazy. It's crazy.
You could really be peeping out and make sure people doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Exactly. You feel me? Like now it's like my eyes, I can just move around. They be like, whoa. I'm like, yeah, I saw that. You didn't think I did, but I did. I saw that.
Yeah.
But, it just, and then, I wear my little, I got a little bucket hat. So I got the bucket hat with the shades as a coach. I'm feeling real coachy.
Okay. You getting your coaching on. Well, we know who got to do some coachy and some coaching is Budenholzer. Again.
Budenholzer.
But whatever, Boo, what I don't care. I'm going to tell you right now, he better figure it out. He better figure it out because game one, Phoenix pretty much got anything they wanted. I mean, anything they wanted. Chris Paul and Devin Booker put on a show in game one, man. And the game was a little bit close. Don't let the score dictate how the game actually went. No. I'm
up 20 at one point, bro.
I know, but the game was back and forth, and then it just got out of hand. It really just got out of hand. And Milwaukee's problems that's been stemming throughout this playoffs is they offense got stagnant. They relied on so many jump shots, and it wasn't falling. And Phoenix got out, played with pace like Chris Paul talked about. They wanted to play with more pace, get up and down. And he was saying, hey, I got to, these young boys want to get up and down, so I got to get up and down for this series. And they did that, and he got whatever he wanted. He got to his spots. And whenever they tried to double him, Ayton got to his spots and was dominating. The man grabbed damn near every board on the goddamn floor. He probably could have had 40 boards if he wanted to. I'm just saying Phoenix looked like the more dominant team. But I would say this, that the Bucks is going to have to find out how are they going to guard the pick and roll. Are you going to put Giannis at the 5? And Brook Lopez is going to be, non-existent in this series? Or how are you going to stop the Phoenix Suns with the lineups that you've been putting out there? How do you feel about game one?
Game one, to me, went as predicted because I just feel like the Suns is a better team. It was surprising that the Suns start off with Ayton on Giannis. I mean, that was a interesting move. I was not expecting that out of the Monty Williams coaching bag, but it was a solid bag to use. When I look at this game, I actually was very impressed with Giannis. He wasn't really settling for a lot of jump shots. I think he took probably 2 threes, and I think he hit one of them. He was around the rim. He just got to take more shots. He can't be behind shots between Holiday, Chris Middleton, and I think Brook Lopez even took more shots than him, or Bobby Portis, one of the two, took more shots. I feel like Giannis probably got to be just a tad bit more aggressive. His knee looked good. So I was happy to hear about that and see that. So now when we looking at this finals, we can't sit there and say, well, like the Bucks ain't healthy. And, so it's looking like it's going to be a healthy, competitive series, especially looking at how Giannis. The Bucks pick and roll coverage is interesting. I've watched the Suns now throughout these playoffs, and I've yet to see people blitz Chris Paul or Devin Booker. And what I mean by that is when they come off this pick and roll, instead of switching or dropping or even icing the situation, I would blitz him. And I would make Chris Paul little self have to try to throw over a double team and make Ayton become a playmaker. If Ayton is beating me because Ayton is my playmaker, then you gotta shake his hand and give that man that. But I don't know how comfortable Ayton would be every time having to make that pass from the free throw line extended area. Because, of course, sometimes it's going to be an easy pass where you like boop bop, he may hit a cutter or something. But other times when you have to keep repeatedly doing it, then you get in the, questioning because that's not your normal role. Your normal role is catch and finish, not catch and play make. So my adjustment, if I was the Bucks, would be to try to blitz Chris Paul and blitz Devin Booker here and there in the pick and roll. I wouldn't just allow them to come off and get the matchup they want. I wouldn't just allow them to come off and be able to get to that mid-range game the way they want to. It was a situation where they was just picking on Brook Lopez. D-Book went at him, Chris Paul went at him, and then when Brook Lopez wasn't in, they start picking on Pat Covington. And I watched the possession where Chris Paul walked Pat Covington into a mid-range jump shot. Like he literally walked him into it. He dribbled between the legs, hit him with, and it went in a crossover. It was just keep bagging up. Oh, you gonna keep bagging up. Oh, I'm at the free throw line now. Why? Like you can't do that with a guard of Chris Paul's nature. I would argue that you press up on Chris Paul, make him really go in his handle bag. Maybe that's eating up time on the shot clock, right? And maybe it forces him into a bad shot if you already pressed up, or if he's going to the cup, now you got help defenders. So it's a few things the Bucks can do, but, Buttonholzer kind of reminds me of Vogel. They stubborn. They're going to stick to what they feel is right, and they're not going to make too many adjustments to really want to win this game. So I'm looking to see if Bud makes some changes, but I'm optimistic that he won't.
You know what? One thing that stood out to me is the game was close when they was blitzing Chris Paul, forcing him to pick the ball up, throw tough passes, and putting the ball in other people's hands. Okay? And you saw that. It was a close back and forth. I think with the Bucks, you know what I be seeing a lot too with Giannis? Giannis is damn near a big man. He don't have hands like that. And I'm shocked because you think that somebody who's that athletic, can be a guy that can catch the ball easily. If you ever notice, like Giannis be fumbling the ball a lot of times, and sometimes it's bad passing, and sometimes it's just him being clumsy and things like that. But I love Giannis' energy. I love what he did. I think the first game was the first game back. So it was sometimes when he wasn't on the floor when the Phoenix Suns went on that run and they took over because they had Lopez. They had another small, like a slow big out there trying to guard Chris Paul, and Chris Paul went on a tangent. He does what he does. When he smelled blood, he goes after it. And you saw when Giannis was out there, they made some defensive lapses where Ayton was able to get the buckets, but it was tougher for them to score, right? It was tougher for them to score. And I think that Buttonholzer is going to have.
I'm calling Bud, man. I feel like you just.
Is it Buttonholzer? Buttonholzer with a B-U-D, right?
Is Buttonholzer. So it's B-U-D-H-O-Z.
Buttonholzer. Did I not say it right that time? Buttonholzer. Did I say it right? God dang it. Buttonholzer, I think he's going to have to start Giannis at the 5 and see if that works. I know it probably won't happen. I think he's going to have to try to do that. I think so because you got what's his name? I can't think of the name, but he just went out with a torn ACL.
Oh, Dario Saric.
Saric. He's out full, so they don't have really nobody who's going to sprace the floor.
Frank Kaminsky can shoot the ball.
But he hasn't been playing like that. You get what I'm saying? It's not you gonna just put a man in there and he's just gonna be able to shoot like that. I mean, it ain't gonna happen like that. So he's gonna be rusty. And so it's for the most part, I would say when Ayton is on the floor, you go Giannis at the 5. When he's off the floor, then you can go traditional bigs, right? Because, when you put the other big man for Phoenix, he's not that athletic. So Lopez can try to stay with him a little bit more, right? But it's hard when you got Ayton athletic as hell. Then you got Chris Paul getting to where he wants. It's like a GG, okay? It's one of those G freaking Gs. If I'm a big man, this is what I like to do. If I'm big, I'll try to not give them so much space where I'm letting them shoot. I'll be in a position where I'm still in a contest position where I can live with them taking tough twos, right? But then if they go to the rim, then that's back to my speed where now I got a chance for using my length, right? And McGee does that extremely well. That's one of the things McGee used to do. It's like sometimes he'll play up just a little bit, got long arms. If you shoot a contested 2, 3, you live with that. But once you go to the rim, it's picking season. I'm taking that off the backboard. I'm sending that to Narnia. I'm doing all that. But the bigs are trailing. Like whenever he comes off that screen, they're backpedaling. And you're not supposed to be backpedaling because it's like, what are you scared of? You 7 foot. Chris Paul is damn near 6 foot on his good day.
Bro,
why are you nervous?
Bro, did you know what they scared of? Because I remember Bake back in his real hooping heyday. And you come off that screen and roll, and you had a dude who you knew you was way quicker than. They don't want to get hit with the ooh-wop, and then now they tumbling. You already know a Chris Paul can snatch back, and then now that big hold his hope down goes. They be afraid of that. So they'd rather sit there and backpedal with their balance to make sure they don't get hit. Because if you get, you a little guard. And you know when you get a big man thinking he got you and you snatch him, what happens to the big man, bro?
It's bad, but
it's bad.
It's playing under control. I know it's hard. It's easy to say, hard to do because it's a big man. You know,
it's hard to do, bro.
But I would just say they got to find that balance. They got to find the balance where they can still be in a contested defensive position, but they can also trail. It's hard to do. It's hard to do.
I got an idea. How about we go back to playing grown man basketball and we start fighting over screens? How about we get back to not just letting people screen us? I feel like that's because you've mentioned it before, you know, in some of our shows of people just getting screened. It's like, here comes the screen. All right, you got it, champ. Like it ain't like, okay, screen left. Okay, I feel it. Let me step through. You know, like the Bucks did it on a couple of possessions. And like I said, when you playing against the Suns, who are a heavy pick and roll team, when you fight through 2 screens and then you probably let the third one go, think about the shot clock. Now the shot clock probably at like 5, 6. Yeah. Now they're kind of rushed. So it's not like, I mean, I know it expands a lot of energy, but we're in the finals.
Right.
You're supposed to be laying it all on the line.
Last 7 games ever until next season.
Exactly. So if I'm, like I said, you don't have to do every coverage all the time. But a team like the Suns, you have to be able to mix up coverages. That's why the Lakers were successful in game 2 and 3 because they were able to mix up coverages along with being able to play big at times and be aggressive on the boards. Once AD got hurt, they didn't have nobody help. They didn't have nobody to really help mix up the coverages because now these dudes was getting wherever they wanted to do whatever they want. So with the Suns, you got to mix up the coverages. You got to blitz them at times. You can switch it at times. You got to fight through screens. You got to hedge. You got to help and recover. You got to do different things so they're not comfortable. You may have to play a little bit of a zone just to give them something different, just to give them a different look, just so they have to make different adjustments and different things on the fly. And like I said, I just don't believe Coach Bud is that guy to do different things. He's just a stubborn individual.
It's going to be interesting to see if they can. I know a lot of people always get on me about my 2K references, but if you play 2K, you know what I mean. You can play hedge on that pick where you know how it is when that CPU on Hall of Fame difficulty, you ain't getting by that pick. It's like they fight through it, they hedge it. They even show to make you feel like they're going to be there, to make you have to be indecisive, like which way do I go? And I'm telling you, people always knock the video games, but those video games be showing a lot of good things that you can try to mimic in real life. If that's where they get a lot of this stuff from. But we'll see if Coach Bud and Giannis is going to be able to make adjustments. Again, it's only one game. If you really look at it, you know, Chris Paul had a great game. Aiden had a great game. But, you know, Devin Booker didn't really shoot the ball that well. He went 8 for 21. He went 1 from 8 from the three-point line. Crowder was 0 for 5 with 1 point. Bridges was 5 for 13. He was 2 for 4 from the three-point line. So they didn't really shoot the ball extremely well.
Bro, the Bucks won almost every statistical category.
Yeah.
They won in rebounds. They won in rebounds. I think they won in points in the paint. I think they won in 3-point field goal percentage. Where they lost that was at the free throw line. But, you know, when you look at it, they predominantly shot jumpers. So if you only shooting jumpers, you can't complain about not getting free throws.
But But there wasn't some calls, so I'm not gonna put it in the ref. But there were some times where even the announcers like, yo, that's a lot of contact. And then you go down the other field and it's a quick whistle. So again, I don't like to put it in the ref's hands, but we're going to see. But we got some drama alert. We got some drama alert in LA, man. Let's talk about it.
I wouldn't call it drama.
Oh, it's drama. Stop lying.
All right. Well, look, man, my man Kyle Kuzma, he got some interesting comments, man, on the Bleacher Report. One of his first comments is, my biggest thing is I just wanted to play in a more consistent role. If I have that ability, I'll be able to showcase what I can really do. There were parts of the year and even anywhere else in my career when I'm in a consistent space, I'm out there handling the ball, making my teammates better, scoring, shooting, defending, rebound. I think if I'm in that space, I'll be good. He goes on to further say, because the comment came up to where, are you capable of 25-point score and reach an all-star status? And Kuzma responded by saying, I definitely can. I definitely believe that too. I don't really care what nobody thinks or says. I know myself. I know my ability. It's hard to be consistent in an inconsistent role. I'm excited for a consistent space this year. He said, I've done my job every offseason, adding something to my game. He said he's turned himself into a great defender. I would argue that. But he also believes he has turned himself to where he can guard at least 4 positions, 1 through 4 for the most part.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you go, and then because I got a few things that I can say about this.
Okay.
That was a lot?
That was a lot. First and foremost, two things that I picked up. It's almost like Kuzma knows that he's possibly about to get traded this offseason. Because he said, I'll look forward to being in a more consistent role this upcoming season. And if he playing for the Lakers, I don't know what consistent role he's talking about. Because the consistent role he's been for the Lakers is coming off the bench, being their 6th man, being able to do what they need him to do and try to put up buckets, try to help with the second unit. And he hasn't done that extremely well. But he does play well when the superstars like LeBron and AD are down. But then when they come back, it's like, where the hell did you go? Now, I understand what he's talking about in the consistent role and being able to have the ball in his hands a little bit more, because that's pretty much saying that he's not translated over to just being a set shooter, right? Like it's only certain people that can be able to be a set shooter and do that consistently well. There's some people that gotta have the ball in their hands. Like for Kevin Love, when he played with LeBron, he was a guy that had the ball in his hand in Minnesota, and then he came to Cleveland and then became a damn near set shooter. He wasn't the 20 and 10 like he was. I mean, he was getting double-doubles, but it was a different type of double-doubles that he was getting. And so it changed the way he plays. And we all know when you play with LeBron, some of your game will change unless you Anthony Davis and you that guy and you can do what you want to do still because you're 1A, 1B type thing. And so when you're like one like 2B or 2A or whatever, some of your game is going to change. And so Kuzma, in my opinion, is almost throwing a shot at the Laker organization and maybe even that. Hold on, I'm going to say I'm going to call a spade. He's pretty much saying, look, they can hate on me all they want, but at the end of the day, I haven't had a consistent role. I haven't had my role of being a guy that can have the ball, run the offense, get people involved, and do what I know I'm capable of doing. So that's on the Laker organization for not utilizing me the right way and only utilizing me when LeBron and AD is out. And then when they come back, then I got to go back to this role player aspect. I'm not a role player in his mind. Okay, I'm not a role player. And so now I truly feel like Kuzma feels like he's about to get traded. He's going to go to a different team where he can be the main focus of that team, potentially either a 1B, maybe not a 1A, but a 1B. And he can show everybody, like a lot of other players, the Jordan Clarksons, the Brandon Ingrams, they go to different situations and they're able to show out their talent because now they're getting more touches. They're getting a little bit more responsibilities and they have more leeway to play how they would like to play.
Yeah. You made a lot of good points. I mean, I see where you're going with that. His name's been in the air, trade rumors, and getting him up out of here. So I'm going to look at I got a few points, okay? I feel like Kuzma kind of put his foot in his own mouth with this. Like a consistent role comes from a consistent player. If you're being a consistent player, then your role really wouldn't change. But when you don't consistently perform, how can a coach trust you in a consistent basis with a consistent role? I'm just preaching on this, the consistency thing, because you'll have games where Kuzma shines. Yeah. Right. So it's like, I'll just answer this for me, Babe. If Kuzma get in the game and he goes for like 23, right? He hits about 3 of 6 from the 3. He got some layups, some putbacks, right? And then the next game, he get the same exact shots, but now he's 0 for 6 and he got 2 points. Is it the role or is it the player? You feel me? Because that's what frustrates us as Laker fans with Kuzma. Because it's like, when you look at his role with the Lakers, ain't really changed. I look at it like this. Kuzma needs to be in the mind frame of a Lamar Odom when he was with Kobe and Pau. Right? You feel me? Lamar knew he was number 3, and Lamar embellished number 3. So when Lamar came in the game, Lamar was giving you a double-double along with some assists because he was snatching the ball off the rebound. He was pushing the break, and if he found somebody, he found somebody. But if not, he went and got a bucket. But Lamar stayed within his game. He didn't make things about other people. It was like, I'm going to be Lamar Odom, and I'm going to make the Lakers better by being Lamar Odom. Kyle Kuzma getting his feelings. If AD didn't got too many shots or if LeBron didn't got too many shots, he like, man, I ain't gonna never get the ball. So now he's soaking. Now he's not energetic. Now he's not a part of it. When you become a 6th man, the world is your oyster because usually you're coming in and becoming either the number 1 or the number 2 off the bench. So when Kuzma comes in, he's usually coming in for Bron. Right? And kind of how they do the matchups and all that kind of stuff because they won't scoring on the court. Or if he's not coming in for Bron, he's coming in for AD. So when he's coming in, he's basically the number 2. So so you want to become number 1 off the bench? You want LeBron and AD to sit? So when I'm looking at this consistent role thing, I just don't know. And then if we was to remove Kuzma and me attacking Kuz, I can get the Frank Vogel and his thing. And then the LeBron syndrome that comes with it. LeBron is a pick and roll guy. LeBron needs shooters. So you have to become more of a knockdown shooter. But at some point, we have to realize LeBron is no longer LeBron like that anymore. He's not coming off that screen as explosive as he used to be and getting to the cup, drawing 2 defenders and kicking it to wide open guy. Now when he's coming off that screen, he ain't got that extra little giddy up step. So people aren't like closing out like that no more. It's like, well, we'll get there because we know we can recover because LeBron ain't scaring us how he scared us back in his youth. So that means you got to figure out a way to get LeBron off the ball more and do something a little bit more creative on offense to keep all players involved with LeBron aging in his career. If this is a 30-year-old LeBron, Kuzma, shut up. But this is the older LeBron. So you got to get more creative. And if the Lakers are not going to get more creative, then we're going to continue to run into the same problem.
That's some good points. But let's bring in Hot Take to see how he feels about Kuzma comments real quick. And then we'll talk about game 2 and how he feels about game 1 as well. Hot Take. Yeah, that's you.
Yo, hold up. Y'all catch somebody off guard, man. How y'all doing today?
Oh, we good. We Gucci. Hey, man.
Right.
So it's good to have you, man. How you doing?
Good, man. I'm ready to get into this.
What is that? Is that Claude Van Damme?
Bloodsport, man. You remember? You know what it is.
Okay, I see you. So I think it's right in the line of what we talking about. Kuzma got on the Bleach Report, and said, "Hey, my role and my numbers would be better if I had a consistent role, and that the ball is not in my hands a lot, and so that's why I'm not able to be consistent." And on top of that, he also said that I'm looking forward to being what's to come this year and playing in a more consistent role. How do you feel about that? Does that sound like Kuzma's going to be shipped out, or does it sound like the Lakers going to utilize him more differently this year?
They're not gonna have a choice to use him more. But to be honest, we got to put money on it. I think he's going to be shipped out. He's one of the first pieces at $13 million to get like he's just the only piece that's fungible enough to try to bring back what you want for some roster composition. So when you have AD on the roster, he's the one to get marginalized. So I think actually when they trade him, he's kind of getting dumped on. I think he's a better player than he's getting knocked for, but it's all about your situation. So if he goes to the right situation, he'll be maximized. He ain't no all-star, but he's getting dogged out pretty bad in LA. And I've seen this with Randall, Lonzo, Ingram. And so he's not as good as those players, but when he gets on the right roster, he'll be all right.
I mean, you have some points. I feel like the pushback would be all those players are walked into like bad coaching situations, right? That's how I look at it. I feel like none of those dudes were in good coaching situations. Randall came in with Byron Scott, and so did Russell. And we know that Byron Scott's an old head that wanted to be stubborn, and he didn't really want to say too much to Kobe to help the young guys. And then you fast forward with Ingram getting Luke Walton bum ass. And you know how that didn't translate, but it helped Kuzma because Luke just said, Kuz, go do what you need to do your rookie year. And so when I look at Kuzma, Jay, I look at it like this, bro. Your inconsistencies usually stem from you because when the Lakers are fully healthy, your role is going to be your role. You are considered the third option.
No. Chill. He's not the third option. He's
on offense.
To me, he's supposed to be the third option.
No. It's probably AD, Bron, Schroeder, or Bron, AD, Schroeder, and then Kuz, maybe.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
But Schroeder ain't a definitive third option, so it's up for grabs, and
he won't take it, Jay. Like I look at it, and I told Bate when we was talking, I said, Jay, if I'm gonna come out, Jay, and we gonna just talk basketball, Jay. If me and you on the same team, bro, and every time you are guaranteed, Jay, 11 to 12 shots a game, right? So one night you come out, you get your 12 shots, you go 8 for 12, you get some free throws, your game look nice. And then the next night, I'm not expecting you to go for 8 for 12, but I'm expecting you to keep up the same numbers. I give you the same 12 shots and you give me 2 points. Is that an offensive thing or is that a you thing is what I'm saying with Kuzma.
So only the Lakers really know. And Kuzma's a player that you got to set up for success. So if he don't give you what he gave you last night, is it his effort? Is it the behind the scenes that only the Lakers are going to know? But with LeBron, it's like either you're on his team or you ain't on his team. Either you in the picture on the plane, I forget, with the Cavs or whoever, and Kevin Love was excluded. It's like you either team Bron or you not. And it seems like he's tried to be, and he was at times, but now, that's on a night-to-night basis. So for me, if I knew that he had a player that was out looking to set him up for success, because it ain't Schroeder, you see what Chris Paul do for his teammates, and Chris Paul's an outlier and he's, a Hall of Famer, but there's other players out there that make it their business to set a teammate up for success. I even cut it at Mike Conley. If Mike Conley was on the Lakers roster, AD's out missing a couple of games, and he's like, okay, Kuz, man, we need you. You can score 20 to 22 a night, and maybe there's holes in the rest of your game, but we can get you these buckets. You're a bucket getter. Dude, there's holes on the roster that are not complementary to setting my man up for success. So is he overpaid a little bit? Am I a Kuzma fan or a homer? No, but he's a bucket getter.
So quick question. You said it. Do you feel like he took a little shot at LeBron when he said if the ball was
I absolutely did. LeBron, either you with him and he ride for you, or he's you an outcast and you about to get traded, And it's like, and this is fans. These are nobodies. I can see when he's rocking with somebody and when he's not. He's always got Caruso's back, always. But, he's sometiming with some of the rest of the players on the team.
But last year, and this is the LeBron James tweet, and I quote, the thing was who is expected to have a breakout year? And LeBron James tweeted, Kyle Kuzma. So I wouldn't necessarily say he's not a LeBron James guy. I just feel kind of what Jay's point is the roster is becoming more flawed as LeBron is getting older. And the Lakers got to get LeBron more off the ball and get more of a true point guard to allow everybody else to start being set up instead of LeBron being the sole decision maker.
What is Kuzma, man? What is, like, when I look at his position and his skill set, he's 6'8". He's a 3'4", 6'8", right? He's a 3'4", right? 3'4". And it's like, what are they doing on the roster to complement that? They get you JaVale McGee's and Dwight Howard's, AD's the 45-minute a game when healthy. LeBron in his natural position is a point forward. We sitting here wasting roster spots on Jared Dudley. Get this crap out, Montrezl Harrell. Get this crap out of here. And if you're going to put me right behind AD, then put me right behind AD and set me up for success. That's all I'm saying. I didn't know this was about a Kuzma thing I was hopping into. I was ready to talk finals, but Kuzma, I like Kuzma. He is slightly overpaid, and he just needs to be in the right situation. And maybe as LeBron can do less, that they'll need Kuzma to do more, and they can set him up.
Jay, I think $13 million is cool for the. I feel like his
about 9, 10.
Yeah, his $13 million is more. His $13 million more came because he was on the championship team. You feel me? More. I feel like that's where the extra 3 kick in at for being a part of the ship, because 10 to 13, I feel like is right around where he should be.
He could be if he was being maximized.
Facts.
But let's talk about game 1. How do you feel? What are the adjustments you think the Bucks need to make to be able to try to stop the Phoenix Suns? Because like me and Reason said, Chris Paul and Devin Booker got the book and got the Paul everything they wanted to do. Anything they wanted, they got it. It was easy. It was like free 99. You didn't even have to pay no sales taxes. You could have just grabbed it off the shelf and took it. That's how easy it was for them in game 1. What are the adjustments? How do you feel the Bucks can come back from game 2?
Well, since I picked the Bucks in 6, I'm actually feeling good about it. Giannis was that much more athletic and spry than I anticipated. So now that he got the cobwebs from game 1 off, he tailed off at the end. In the second half, he just didn't look as spry, but we'll see. They might have caught something towards the end of that, or the beginning of the fourth quarter when they went small. Looking at them box scores, it tells the tale. Bobby Portis, Brook Lopez, like only one of them can play, and their 15 minutes got to be directly correlated when CP3 is not on the floor. So if CP3 plays 38 minutes, then that's 10 minutes for Brook Lopez. Maybe you give him an extra 5, and that's about it. The problem with the Bucks is that they really only got one 5-man switching unit. So when you have Connaughton and Tucker out there with the big 3, which is enough to close a game. But Bryn Forbes needs more burn, for real. Get some 2-man game in there with Holiday and Giannis, or Forbes and Giannis. But because Chris Paul had a great game, he ain't going to do that again. He might do 80% of what he did, but he's not going to do that again.
Hold up. Chris Paul.
Oh, he said it.
His first NBA Finals. Ain't going to do what he just did in game 1 again at all. In none of these games.
He might do it one more time out of the next 4.
One more time.
Maybe one more time out of the next 4. Yep.
One more time.
Because he said, he technically said Bucks in 7, but you switched it to Bucks in 6.
I did say Bucks in 7. I did say Bucks in 7. After looking at Giannis's health,
okay,
I'm feeling good now. Had I known he was just going to come out the gate with just a little bit of rust, because I'm already baking in the fact that the Suns is going to go 2-0.
Here's my thing, though. Here's my thing. When you start putting players like the Covington and I just had
Connaughton and Tucker.
Connaughton and
Forbes.
Yep. When you start putting them out there, yes, you get more offense, but you lose some defense. Forbes is not a defender. They attack that man every time he was on. Yes. It was bad. It was bad. And Covington or whatever his name is, man. I don't know what you're gonna get from him. I feel like he should be overseas, in my opinion. I don't even think he should be in the NBA. I think he should be overseas. He'd be a great overseas player. I really truly believe that, because he's not giving you nothing offensively or defensively. He's just a liability on the floor, in my opinion. I'm just calling a spade a spade. He's not giving you no three-point shooting, and he's not giving you no defensive.
He's a decent three-point shooter. He's like 36, 37%.
Decent, okay, but what is he hitting? What is he hitting?
Here's what the plus minus says to me. +2 when Middleton, Holiday, Tucker, Lopez, Portis, all of them negative plus minus in the double digits. So when I look at who was in the plus, Giannis was +1, Connaughton was +2, and Forbes only played 12 minutes, but he was -1. What I'm getting at here is, here's what we can't have. Chris Paul comes off the screen, and he just got the Red Sea just parting for him right here. He missed a couple shots in the first half, and then all of a sudden he didn't miss a damn bucket to save his life. So here's what I know is that at least when there's that high screen pick and roll coming off the edge, that Connaughton, even though he's a forgettable afterthought, he's at least not going to have to cough up the space that Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis are. Got damn near 10 yards between the two. Like, that's just not no. I've been said that with Booker and with CP3, you cannot put those players on an island like that. Out there look like Boo Boo the Fool. That's just not it. So.
No, I hear you, but here's my thing. Look at this. Connaughton, 28 minutes. Only had 8 points. Brandon Forbes, 12 minutes and had 6. He had 2 less points than Connaughton.
8 points is not the tail. The tail is he's 2 for 4 on 3-pointers, and he's +2. So that means he's honored. Like, if you're just going to give a little gravity to my man over here.
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying both of them should not be on the floor at the same time. In my opinion, I go with Brandon Forbes instead of Connaughton. To be honest with you, he's going to give you more points. He's a better shooter than Connaughton. He may lose a little bit of the athleticism when it comes to defense, but you got to give up something. If you got a player that's giving you 28 minutes, and yeah, you get to the plus minuses, that's cool, but when he's on the floor, he give you 28 minutes, and he only gives you 8 points, and he's 2 for 4, and you got a man that gives you 12 minutes, 2 for 4, and from the same thing with less time, well, we're going to get him to help us spread the floor a little bit, hit a couple threes, open up the defense a little bit. Yes, we're going to lose something on defense, but put him on somebody like a Crowder or something where he's not necessarily going to hurt you offensively, but you can live with
there's Chris Paul's running them doubles pick and rolls. He said, nope, pick and roll over here, got the switch, and now we're going to do this one again one more time. I've seen him do that like 3 times in a row, and I'm like, so if Forbes is out there, they're going to find you. don't get to just put him on Crowder. But the thing is what happened? Like, if I would make Chris Paul, I'm so left field. I would come out starting the game with Forbes on CP3. Like, if you want to shoot 40 times in a row, go ahead and shoot 40 times in a row, because I'm not going to let you just sit here and dine these people up all day. Like I don't know what the answer is, but I do know it involves Forbes playing more minutes. I'm with you. I'm not going to argue over Connaughton, but what I am going to say is Lopez 23 minutes, Portis 14, Jeff Teague 10. No, and no.
Well, I look at it like this. I feel like Chris Paul has entered the space of, I'm going to get me a bucket. Mm-hmm. I think Chris Paul has entered that space of, I see now I have a ring 3 games away and ain't nobody guarding me. Because we tend to forget how gifted of a scorer when Chris Paul is really in his bag, what he can do. He's been having these games in these playoff series where he's just been closing teams out, where he closed out the Nuggets and he closed out the Clippers.
All these crippled teams that he then closed out. This is the first fully healthy team, and we're going to see. I got a decade showing Chris Paul front running and now I wouldn't say choking. I'm not gonna disrespect dude like that. But he's a front runner, and I've seen him cheeks get tight.
Yeah, I mean, but I feel like he ain't never been this close though. I feel like it's a different kind of front running first, second round. But when you this close and he's already done seen blood in the water, I just think we're about to get another 30-point game from Chris Paul. Unless the Bucks do something to where they really legitimately taking the ball out of his hands. But Chris Paul is not about to go out like that. And right now, the thing that concerns me is really Devin Booker. People talked about him having 27, I think he had. Yeah. That sounds good.
Hey.
He was 1 for 8 from 3.
Bro, I think so I'm glad you said that, because I was happy. I was like, my man Drew Holiday did what he was supposed to do, but they was leaking so much. 2 problems. Yeah, one is they move you off him to check CP3 and it's diminishing returns. And 2, bro, we got to put an APB out on you on offense, because what are you doing? But yes, continue your point.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. D-Book is where I'm concerned. Yep. And if Chris Paul has to continue to carry the full load kind of like that, will he tire out without D-Book being efficient? Because the numbers are the numbers. But you ain't going to win too many games with your co-star being inefficient all goddamn night. So if D-Book picks up his efficiency, then it's really going to be problems for the Bucks, because now D-Book is in his bag and Chris Paul is in his bag. But again, I told y'all who the X factor was, and he didn't score a lot and he didn't do a lot. The numbers don't show much. But campaign out there, he will go out there and he will continue to be the spark. He will do enough to give Chris Paul his 5 to 7 minute break, make sure the game don't go too far, and he will maintain status quo. And that is where the Suns are really winning a lot of these games, because campaign is coming in, maintaining and keeping things afloat.
Let's stop. Okay, let's talk about game 2, what we see in game 2 before we get up out of here. But the main guy for the Phoenix Suns right now, and he's one of the best players on the floor besides Chris Paul, is DeAndre Ayton. Now, let's just call it a spade. The dude had 29, 17 rebounds. He's a defining factor. If they can't find a way to neutralize him, it's going to be picking seasons for the Suns at the end of the day. Because if you saw what Chris Paul did, he was so smart. When y'all doubled him, he gave it to Ayton. Ayton dominated. He got whatever he wanted, and ones, all that good stuff. And then he limited the Milwaukee Bucks second chances attempts. He was dominating on the boards. And even on offensive boards, he gave his team second chance shots. And so he is the defining factor. If you can't neutralize him, because at the end of the day, the wings will neutralize themselves 9 times out of 10, because they're not shooters like that. They're scorers, but the scorers have rough days. But a big man, if he can get what he wants anytime he wants, that's barbecue chicken. And I feel like game 2, so we can go into game 2 before we get up out of here. I think game 2, I'm going to call it a spade, if the Bucks don't come out with no adjustments, if you don't see him either blitzing Chris Paul or you starting Giannis at the 5 early, it's going to be the same thing all over again. It may look like it's a close game, but then Chris Paul going to get what he wants, because at the end of the day, he's able to get wherever he wants. And when you feel like it's easy, that's when you like, okay, and you're so smart. That's one thing people don't realize. It's not just his scoring ability. It's his IQ. It's like, look, I'm going to get a bucket. Let me be aggressive a couple of times, and then I'm going to make him double, give it to Ayton. He's going to get going. So now we got 2 people going, and all we don't need Book to go off, but Book got a go off game in him anytime. But what we need Book is to be sustainable, just to be able to hit a couple here and there, be like he did, 20 points here and there. But me and Ayton is going to dominate. And then Book, we need you to neutralize, and we need the other player to hit some timely shots when we need you, so we can start. The lead be like this, and then we can run away. we can run away. And that is exactly what happened. And especially when Giannis is not on the floor, they torture the Bucks. And again, Drew Holiday, I don't know what he be in. He in these spurts. He give you some great defensively, but then offensively he struggles. And that's what happens sometimes. He got to learn how to play in spurts. Like sometimes maybe take a couple times off on the defense so you can get some buckets on the offense to get in the rhythm because he's struggling. He's struggling again. But, and I got the Suns game 2.
I think Drew Holiday gets in his own head. He's an A+ defensive player, but I think he starts questioning himself. He's never been in this stage before with these bright lights. He's getting dependent on offensively, and the flow just ain't there. He ain't a natural facilitator. So like I could see the indecision on his face when he's and just in the way that he's playing. So I'm gonna need more from him. And it's like you toss him in the trash, and right when you toss him in the trash, the next game he comes out and shows you this is why I'm earning $30 million. So DeAndre Ayton does need to get minimized. But how do you do that? I don't know. I think maybe you got to find a way to get him away from the rim because he's smuggling all of those rebounds. And that is the ace. I'm not sure when I said the key to this one was DeAndre Ayton. That's what I said right before we started game 1. But just getting rebounds and eating off a CP3 isn't going to be good enough. There's going to be some more attrition and some more adversity. And I do want to see if he's like a flat out next rising superstar. So, but they got to get him off the boards. That's a job number 1. So I think the Suns might get away with going 0-2. I'm cautiously optimistic the Bucks is going to win tonight. I don't even have a definitive answer. Bucks in 6 at this point with Giannis healthy.
Well, I got the Suns tonight. Like I said, I feel like the Bucks adjustments is to make sure that their defensive adjustments are on par, that they're, doing, they're coming in and out of coverages. You can't give Chris Paul and D-Book too much of the same thing. Otherwise, they're gonna figure out ways to exploit you. I expect a better game from Crowder tonight. He hasn't really been a factor since the Lakers series, which always pisses me off. There's always that one guy against my team, and then he's a bum the rest of the time. Mm-hmm. So I expect a little bit more out of Crowder tonight. And I think Ayton is going to do what Ayton does, because I feel like if the Bucks start off how they did with game 1 with PJ Tucker guarding Chris Paul, and then they was doing a pick and roll situation, and then Ayton was getting Tucker down low, I feel like that works. And then if you go back to Brook Lopez guarding Ayton, they're going to continue just to attack Brook Lopez. So it's going to be hard for them to figure it out. I do agree with you, Jay, that the Giannis at the 5 could work. But, even though Brook Lopez plus minus wasn't that good, he shot very well from the field.
He has to play. He has to play. He got to get minutes.
Yeah, you just got to find a way to make sure that you're just not putting him on an island in certain situations. I mean, if it happens here and there, then you live with it, but you got to avoid that. So, I mean, like I said, I got the Suns tonight, and I still got the Suns.
Hey, no, let me make an amendment, man. We can't be hot taking and trying to play it safe, man. We're going with the Bucks tonight, bro. We're going with the Bucks tonight, man. That's bullshit. No, I'm sitting here trying to play it cool, but really, if the Bucks is going to handle this business, they got to start tonight.
They got to do it tonight. But now let us know how y'all feel. Great takes for both Hot Take and from my man Reasons. I truly do believe that, it's going to be a good game again. I had fun watching it. It was up and down, back and forth, and it just got out of hand late. But it's good to see. It's only game 1. You got to win 4. It's the first of 4, not the first of 1. Let us know in the comments below, how do y'all feel about game 2? Who do y'all got taking game 2? And also about the drama alert. How do y'all feel about Kuzma comments about him needing the ball in his hands a little bit more to be able to show that he's an all-star player? But let us know. Always remember to stay safe, take care of yourself, and to talk daddy.